Hi everybody, welcome to chaseforrainbow.co.uk. My name's Neil Cottam, and in this video I'm going to take you through my personal journey with the Raleigh Burner BMX. It's going to be groovy. Right, so regular subscribers and viewers will have seen some of this journey already, and if you haven't, check out my page, check out the videos, and you'll see the various different build videos and the journey that I've gone on with these three bicycles. I've had a lot of questions about the bikes and what I've done and stuff, so I just thought I'd have a little chat about them and walk you through my journey. What I'm gonna do actually is I'm not going to take you through the bikes in actual chronological order. I'm going to take you through my chronological order and the journey and how I got from 1 to 2 to 3. So let's start with this bad boy over here. This is the iconic Raleigh Burner. This is the one that everybody remembers. This is actually a Mark II Raleigh Burner. I came across this at the start of 2021. I'd had it in mind for quite a long time, probably 10 or 15 years, to build one of these and to build it, or to resurrect an old school Raleigh Burner BMX. And I happened to come across this in a recycling centre where I was doing some work and picked it up for 20 quid. And it was 100% survivor. It had hardly been ridden, it hadn't been stored very well, there was some rust and stuff like that, and it needed a bit of TLC. And this is the finished product. This is the final result of that part of the journey. It cost me 20 quid. I had to have it powder coated because the paintwork was scabby in places, and I put new decals on. And these wheels and tyres aren't original. I've still got the original wheels and tyres and the brake blocks and the original pedals because I quite like these, so I put them on for show. This is my carpet queen, my show pony. I won't really ride this, which means I won't really keep it for all that long. I'll probably have it in the living room for a year, you know, and admire it and then sell it on, because I want bikes to ride, not to gather dust. So somebody else can enjoy it after me. So yeah, this one I had to powder coat. It was a bit scabby here and there was some paint flaking, there was some rust, so I basically stripped it and gave it a complete restoration. I've used all of the original parts, so it's just got new paint, new decals and alternative wheels and pedals. Other than that, it's 100% original. It's a late Mark II burner, May 1986, which is about when they stopped doing them and transitioned onto the later ones, the BMX series, the Styler, that kind of thing. When BMX was kind of starting to dip and lose a bit of its popularity. Its real heyday was 82 to 86, the original kind of golden years of BMX. And this is the one that started my obsession. And originally I planned to do something with this, I just wanted to customize it. But I thought because it was so original and untouched, I didn't really want to mess around with it, and so it kind of got put on the back burner a little bit, and I decided that I wanted to build myself a custom, and in particular a Mark I custom. So we'll move on to that one. So this bad boy was a project I called the Rat Burner project. I was looking out for something really scabby, something that I would have no qualms about doing exactly what I wanted to. Didn't want to start thinking, oh, you know, I'll maintain some original features. I wanted to build a, you know, a rad looking campsite cruiser, a bike that I could burn around on. Wouldn't matter if it got dinged up or damaged or anything like that. I wasn't going to destroy early, you know, period specific original components. So this started life in a real state. The paintwork was horrific, it was rusty, and I pulled it back from the brink, man. Put a lot of work into this. It was originally blue, so it was a Mark 1, standard Mark 1 burner, I think. So I managed to get some period specific components, some kind of new bits of repop, but mostly it's fairly original. So the frame is original, the decals and the paintwork of course are new, because they never did an orange burner, but I like orange and that's the one I wanted. These are actually Mark 1 chrome burner decals, not because I like the colour of them, I like the look of them, and that's what I wanted on it. You can tell it's a Mark 1 because it's got the loop tail frame and it's got the welded gusset right here. Picked up this seat for about 28 quid, the Raleigh seat. That's specific, period specific. New, the only things new really were the seat post, and I got some better bars, because original Raleigh bars were 23 inches, too skinny, too much back sweep, horrible to ride. Still horrible to ride. The geometry on these is awful. Great street bike. They were a mass produced, you know, street bike from Britain's biggest bicycle company at the time. They weren't making, you know, bespoke beautiful bikes. They did a few. They had a project going on where they did that, but mostly these were mass produced in Nottingham, and they made well over 1 million burners in the 4 years, and they sold 500,000 of the Mark 1. So anybody that tells you they're rare is living in cuckoo land, because they're not rare. They come up regularly up for sale. You can pick them up all the time, and the prices have been a bit silly the last year, but they're starting to calm down again now, and you can get something for a more realistic price. This has got period specific Weinman brakes on. It's the original crank. The wheels are bought second hand, the bars are bought second hand, the grips aren't original. I have got some Tang grips, but I've kept those separate, and the brake levers are Diacomp repop, recently made. Very nice though. Yeah, this was my one. This was the one that I really wanted to build at that point. However, something else happened while I was looking for components for this, scouring the internet and eBay and stuff. That one came along, and I'll talk you through that now. That is my baby. This rad looking bad boy is my chromo burner, 1984 Japanese Koizumi frame and tang fork. Raleigh built a few bikes, a few models on high-end Japanese frames, and this was one of them. They built the Aero Pro on tang frames, and the early chromos on tang frames, and then later ones on Koizumi. And this is a beautiful bike. They are extraordinarily heavy, poorly manufactured, the welds are awful, and just, the Mark II is much better than the Mark 1, but this is a thing of beauty, and it's rad to ride. So this came along when I was scouring for parts for the Mark 1. This frame and fork came up on eBay, and I really resisted the temptation to buy it. But when I was a kid, you know, the one, what you really wanted, the rich kids had the chrome frames, and you really wanted a chrome framed bike. I knew a few people that had them, but not many. Most kids had a burner, a basic burner with the wire wheels. And so this became my kind of pet project, really. This was the one I wanted. So I ended up buying it. I set myself a limit on eBay, and I bid at the last minute, and I paid £325 for the frame and fork, which is a lot of money for a bike that's a frame and fork that's 37 years old. But the condition is fabulous, which is important. And actually that was a pretty good price, and it'll hold its value really well, and I won't lose on it. You know, if I sell them all in 5 years, I'll get my money back. I'll probably even make some money. Now this one is pretty much what's called repop. So most of the components are new components that have been remade by the original manufacturing process. There's a few that aren't. This is a Landar headset knob. That's a Sugano broken arrow seat clamp. That's original. The Sugano chainring bolts and stuff, they're all original. They're all old school, man. The wheels are new, the brakes are new. These are Diacomp repop brakes. The stem is new. Sorry, the stem is original, but I resprayed that. The forks are Owl's Rapid Transit V-bars, much nicer, make it a much nicer ride. They haven't got that silly back sweep, they're much wider and they're lovely. And all of these components you could buy in the early 80s, you know, the mushroom grips, the Cashimac saddle, that's a repop, the Nitto layback seat post, that's a repop. The Harrow lineage cranks was something I added really recently. They're beautiful, I love those. You would never afford those when I was a kid. You had just the standard one-piece crank on there, chromo lead one-piece crank. So I added these fairly recently. They came in stock at Alan's BMX at Wigan in chrome and in 165mm, which is the length I prefer. And I kind of sucked over it for a few days, and then I thought, you know what, I want it. It's my bike, it's the one I ride, love it, and I'm having some Harrow lineage cranks. So these are the same as the ones they made in the 80s. These pedals are the new modern version, effectively, of the original MKS XC2 pedals. These are XC3s. Really nice, actually, spin beautifully. Look at that, oh, beautiful. That spins nice as well. I've got a profile bottom bracket on there to take out my original Tang American Standard BB, because it was for a one-piece crank and not a three-piece. But I've still got all those components. I'll keep those in the shed anyway. This is my baby, really. Although these pedals look really cool, they're actually awful. So when I go and ride it properly, I switch them out for some DMR Volts, which are a much nicer pedal, lots of grip, and you can move the bike around properly. So yeah, this one had no illusions about building it on original components or anything like that. I wanted a quality bike to ride, and I didn't want shitty old brakes and stuff like that. Especially some of the stuff Raleigh fitted. So yeah, this is it. This is my Raleigh burner evolution, my journey from just wanting one to ending up with three. So that's the Mark 1, that's the Mark 2, and this is the Mark 2 chromo burner. And actually they're all beautiful. And if you're gonna do one up, if you've got an inkling, if you're in the mind to do up an old school BMX, and particularly if you're from the UK, because the Raleigh burner was the iconic one, by no means the best, probably the worst. And there are a lot of better bikes around even at that time, you know, the Mongoose and the Redlines and Skyway TAs. There was tons, man. Harrow, there was loads about GT, lots of great American bikes actually. So if you're in the mind to do one up and you just want one that you love and it's original and iconic, probably the original mag burner with the yellow wheels. The Mark 1s are awful to ride. They're alright if you want one just to cruise around on and look cool. The Mark 2s ride much nicer. Their geometry is better, but really, if you want a really nice bike to ride, buy one of the frames that Raleigh use, one of the Tango Koizumi frames, because they're so much lighter, they're stiffer, they're just better all around. So the best bikes that Raleigh built, they didn't really build, they just assembled. But they're still cool, man, and they're rad, and I love Raleigh burners, but my journey is over. I'm not doing any more. That one's going to be sold in a year or so, just because I don't want it gathering dust. This one I'll ride until my knees give up and I can't ride anymore. And that one I'll probably just pose about on in the summer, cruise around campsite stuff, you know. And if somebody ever offers me enough money for it, I'll sell it. This one, however, is not for sale. Hope you've enjoyed my little journey through my Raleigh burner. It's not a collection because I'm not a collector. I'm not going to call it a collection. Let's call it an ensemble. It was an accidental collection. I never set out to collect. I don't collect. I'm not a collector. I want to make that clear. I'm an enthusiast who likes riding bicycles. So if you've enjoyed it, yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. I've been Neil Cotton. You've been fabulous. Thanks for stopping by. Hey! Phew. Awful balls.